What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Classic Chronicles. I hope everybody enjoyed their Thanksgiving weekend and is ready to conquer the week that is. Listen, man, we got some really cool stuff coming up on the channel. We got I got a premiere of Violent Night that I'm going to this week. The movie where Santa Claus kicks the shit out of everybody. And that should be amazing. So look for a review on that. We got some more classic conversations coming up with, specifically this week, with somebody who I have an immense amount of respect for. He started out as my physical therapist in elementary school, but in the years since then, he's become family to me, man. So we're gonna talk to my former physical therapist, Victor, who watches who's an avid fan of the channel, man. I love you, Vic. Uh, um, and we're also gonna see if we can get his amazing wife Nancy on as well. If we can't get them for a dual interview, I will be interviewing them separately because she's amazing too. Um, and let's see, we got some WWE action coming up. First, December 26th at Madison Square Garden for their annual holiday tour. Then on February 13th, the final Raw before the Elimination Chamber pay per view, which is the February 20th, I believe. That's going to be at the Barclays Center. So, very excited to go to that. And yeah, no, just more reaction videos, more episodes of the Classic Chronicles, and just everything that you enjoy by this channel. More of it coming up in the year to come in 2023. But for right now, we're gonna talk about uh, WWE's iteration of the Fall Classic, and that would be the Survivor Series. Now, the Survivor Series is personally one of my favorite events. I mean, I haven't enjoyed it in the most recent years due to the SmackDown versus Raw concept, but I did enjoy, when they integrated NXT into the mix. And last year's Survivor Series, which was in Brooklyn, was pretty cool. I was there live. That was pretty cool. Becky versus Charlotte in the opening match, and boy, Becky Lynch's outfit. Whew. Anyway, what do you call it? Yeah, so this year, man. So this year was a little bit different. It wasn't Raw versus SmackDown. The storylines heading into the pay per view were more story driven as to what was going on currently on both brands, and not necessarily Raw versus SmackDown, which is great. I'm glad that they did away with the Raw and SmackDown concept of things because, on paper it's great. But you're starting to see a lot more crossovers on Raw and SmackDown anyway, so it doesn't it doesn't bring excitement to it. Like if the brands were completely separate, then maybe it would be exciting, but no, it's just not exciting because it's like why do Raw versus SmackDown? Why don't you just do a Super Show? Um, anyway, no. So this year, and another great thing about this year is Triple H brought back another existing concept in NXT, which was the War Games match. And for those of you who are not familiar with War Games, let me break it down for you a little bit. So, War Games originated in WCW, was the brainchild of the late great Dusty Rhodes. Basically, it's two rings and two cages, and five on five warfare. So, one competitor from each team would start the match, and then every, minute and a half to 2 minutes, 2 minutes, another competitor would enter. In this year's Survivor Series, though, it was every 5 minutes. So what do you call it? And then the match would begin if one would begin as all 10 competitors entered the ring. So that would be cool. You can win the match by either pinfall or submission. If you attempt to climb out of the cage like a regular steel cage match, your team automatically forfeits. So that's you don't want to do that. But yeah, so on one side, the kicking off the show, I should say, before we get to the matches and everything, man, it was really really cool to see Ozzy Osbourne, do the intro to the show. It would have been very very cool to see Black Sabbath perform War Pigs live, which was the theme. But just Ozzy singing along to it in the intro, and then you have the video package playing is well good enough. Unfortunately, the scheduling didn't work out between the two sides, or else it would have happened. But Ozzy's a legend, man. I love Ozzy. Huge fan of Black Sabbath and his solo stuff as well. His new album, Patient Number 9, is amazing. But anyway, no, getting back to the show. So kicking things off was the women's War Games match, which featured Damage Control, which consists of Io Shirai, Dakota Kai, and Bailey, the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, and then you had Rhea Ripley from Judgment Day, and what Rhea Ripley from Judgment Day and Nikki Cross, who recently reverted back to her old unhinged psycho gimmick from the superhero gimmick that she was given about a year and a half ago. So it's really cool to see Nikki Cross back in a familiar element, and on the other side you had Asuka, Alexa Bliss, the Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair, Mia Yim, who recently returned to the WWE after being let go last year, and then the returning Becky Lynch, who's been out of action since July with an arm injury, with a separated shoulder, I believe. So these ladies went to war for an hour, and it was great. It was better than I thought it was gonna be. The women's division is really stepping up over there under the leadership and guidance of Triple H and his team. So it's really really cool to see. Yeah, so that was the so Becky Lynch and her team ended up getting the win. That was cool. And then in the next matchup, you had AJ Styles taking on Finn Balor. So whenever these two step into the ring, AJ Styles and Finn Balor, it's always, to quote the man Sheamus, banger after banger, man. These two know how to deliver every single time, and this one-on-one encounter was no different. The rivalry between the OC, the original club, and the Judgment Day is in full swing, and the leaders of those two factions delivered a hell of a matchup last night with AJ Styles picking up the win over Finn Balor. And then you had the SmackDown Women's Championship being defended as Ronda Rousey took on Shotzi. So Shotzi won this match by winning a I think it was a 6-pack challenge. Yeah, a 6-pack challenge match. She earned her way to Survivor Series, and then Ronda Rousey is the women's champion, and badass heel and all that. But so yeah, no, I mean, to be honest with you, this match was really really nothing to write home about. No disrespect, but yeah, it wasn't bad. Shotzi is not a bad wrestler, but Ronda, to me, man, she just isn't exciting. Anyway, yeah. So and then the penultimate matchup featured the United States Championship being defended in a triple threat match. You had Bobby Lashley, Austin Theory, and Seth freaking Rollins, who was the champion. And it was a hell of a triple threat match, man. So many amazing spots and false finishes. So a false finish is you think the match is gonna end like somebody will hit a big move and you think, oh man, the match is gonna end, but then the person kicks out of the pinfall, so that's basically a false finish. Something that it's basically something that could be the end of a match, but the match ends up going on and it's not really the end, so that's a false finish. After a great back and forth between the three competitors, um, Austin Theory ended up picking up the win and is now the new United States champion once again. And me personally, I love Austin Theory. He's a great young kid. He can go and it's so great to see him a more serious side of him because under Vince McMahon he was he had a serious side to him, but the stupid selfie gimmick and taking selfies of his opponents after he beats them, it was just dumb. There's no need for that. There's no need for the comedic shit. So like I love how his character has gotten more serious recently. You know what I mean? And as if the character is more serious, then maybe people will take it more seriously. So that's great for him. And congratulations to Austin Theory and major props to Seth and Bobby as well. And then the main event was the men's War Games match. And so you had the Bloodline, which is the Usos, the WWE, the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions, the Usos, uh, Solo Sikoa, which is the Usos' brother, Sami Zayn, and the WWE Undisputed Universal Champion Roman Reigns, record-breaking Undisputed Champion Roman Reigns, I should say, um, and they were going up against the Brawling Brutes team, which is Sheamus, Ridge Holland, Butch, formerly known as Pete Dunne, and then in addition to those three gentlemen, you had Kevin Owens and Drew McIntyre. And I hear the reported plan is Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns for the Royal Rumble coming up in January. So that should be a hell of a banger. Yeah, so what do you call it? And so there was an intriguing storyline going into this one. Earlier in the night, Sami Zayn had his loyalty questioned by the rest of his team, the Bloodline. Uh, and Roman said before the match gets out there, you need to prove your loyalty to us, and because if not, then it's not gonna end well for you. So then, Sammy, uh, Sammy, as he was going into the matchup, had a huge chip on his shoulder, and then as all 10 men entered the War Games. Man, Roman Reigns came in last, and he was dominant. But as the match went on, the Brawling Brutes team fought back a little bit, and then at the end there, Sammy saved Sammy saved Jey Uso from a kick, a kick, and then saved Roman from a pin, taking the pinfall, and then Sammy turned on his best friend Kevin Owens, which thus proved his loyalty to the Bloodline. Man, I can't wait to see what happens on SmackDown because honestly, the Bloodline and Sami Zayn specifically is the most entertaining thing in WWE right now. Love Sammy, love the Bloodline and all that. So that's what it what that was a cool thing to see. Yeah, no. So overall, show was pretty good. I enjoyed it. Like I said, that Shotzi versus Ronda match, they could have saved that for a SmackDown taping. But anyway, no. Other than that, the show was great. I enjoy this. Like I said, the Survivor Series is one of my favorite events, and this one was pretty damn good. Uh, and that anyway, that's gonna wrap it up for this edition of the Classic Chronicles. like, subscribe, and share. And don't forget to hit that notification button so you don't miss a video. And I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.